Mr. Cooper, a major U.S. mortgage company, left an open Google Cloud instance exposing details of millions of its customers only 2 months after the company suffered a severe data breach. It means that there's some pretty fundamental steps in the incident response process that were probably missed.
In Google Cloud versus the other clouds is that you can make literally anything public. It's a feature.
So with Amazon, whenever you do that, it literally is throwing lots of warnings. Does Google have that level of warning?
AWS is fortunately trended towards not public is the default for all new accounts. Unfortunately, most people don't live in new accounts. For GCP, it's wild, wild west times.
It seems to me like there should be some repercussions for this, right?
As far as the financials go, as long as there's no fraud that's actually happening, you're not going to see a lot of blowback.
A data breach is a gift that keeps on giving. 18 months down the line, that data can still be inflicting real harm on real people.
I want to talk about ConnectWise, one of the first perfect 10 CVE scores. The CISO of ConnectWise did an excellent job saying, hey, we found this. We're going to make this patch available for people that aren't even paying for a current license of ScreenConnect.
The article they published was great, right? So it allowed for the community to come together and throw out some detections really quick.
Don't be surprised to see this in another product, right? Because they're getting used all over a lot of different enterprises.
If you look at any good threat actors nowadays, they're trying to live off the land, right? And as soon as you see one of these, you know you're going to have to somehow track this remote management software if it's going to be used properly or improperly.
Some of your EDR products will detect it. They'll be like, oh, this is bad, right? But then, organizations have to put them in. So it's like this balancing act between legitimate use case and non-legitimate.
I think that ConnectWise is doing a good job handling it, but there are some serious questions about this SDLC that have to be addressed at that company very quickly. LockBit got taken down. I think there was a PHP vulnerability, and this makes big news, and everyone's like, oh, they brought it down. I don't know if this is as much of a victory as people try to make it sound like it is. They say they brought down Black Hat. They brought down a server from Black Hat, and they're coming back up already.
These threat actors don't have to do IR. They don't have to have continuity. They just say, all right, burn it all down. We'll build another one over here.
They're mostly in countries where they can't be extradited. So it's a great PR stunt. It probably does provide a little bit of relief to victims of these attacks.
Every company gets hacked. Every company gets ransomware installed on their systems. Every company gets shut down and comes back online. So I just wonder if it's becoming the new norm.
Chinese hacking groups just recently had their shadow broker vault type breach. It's a whole bunch of documentation about cyber espionage operations in China. Christopher Wray said, China had stolen more of our personal and corporate data than every nation, big or small, combined. We're talking about adversaries that want to dwell, maintain access so they can use it for strategic and tactical advantage at some point further on down the line, or steal intellectual property.
Most US-based companies, or just the US-based people in general, look at the current news and look just a couple months, a couple years ahead, where of course China is epically known to play the long game.
Our politicians have exactly one thing on their mind at all times, and that's re-election. And so they don't have this long game mentality.
In the US, we play chess. In China, they play Go. Completely different games, completely different sorts of strategies.
The scariest quote, it said, if each one of the FBI cyber agents focused exclusively on the China threat, the Chinese hackers would still outnumber cyber FBI personnel by at least 50 to 1.
Is one FBI intelligence analyst equal to 20 or 30 Chinese hackers?
I'm like 25 at the minimum, but I cannot fight 50.
A huge amount of what happens in China are companies that are doing business in China that literally have direct connections. They have a whole bunch of Chinese developers. They have a whole bunch of straight VPNs between the two companies, and their citizens are part of that intelligence apparatus.
The M&M story. Why does a vending machine have facial recognition software? That's what we need to know.
We need more hackers in the world to kind of uncover what's actually being done by these things. So if you're a good faith security researcher and you're releasing that information to make the world a safer, better place, and that is your primary goal, they're more than likely not going to press charges against you. More than likely.
Join us for live InfoSec news every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Black Hills InfoSec YouTube channel.